All right, it is now time for raising funds for world domination, day number 143. So, today there's no updates on the renovation situation. Today I will not be working on the terminal block mining simulation game because I've completed my goal of releasing version 0.08 on September 10th, and I am happy to report that the next task of getting the next video out is now 100% done. So all of that is now done. So that can all be deleted. Made a comment. Oh, I didn't do a community post. I forgot to look into that video hyping feature. I guess for anyone listening who's interested, you can test out. I watched some like YouTube some videos about the feature, but I actually haven't even seen it anywhere. I guess it's like some new feature where you can hype a video, and then that makes it trend a bit for the next, I don't know, when the video's new. And the detailed graphic, I did publish that. Yeah, I guess so. The video hyping thing, I guess I could make that in the community post. And I think I'll probably I'll post that graphic to LinkedIn. Seems like the kind of thing that LinkedIn people would like. I don't really get very much traction on LinkedIn, but yeah, that's basically it. I have completed all of the outstanding tasks. Enjoy your newest video today. Great satire. Lemonade Tycoon. Yeah, I actually just started with the example of a lemonade stand. I think it helps makes it much simpler just to think of like a toy business concept and then map that to stuff like balance sheet, cash flow, whatever. I think that's like if you wanted to teach a kid about entrepreneurship, that would unironically be a good idea. Is like, let your kid do a lemonade stand, but say like, okay, you gotta have a balance sheet. You gotta make sure you gotta figure out the cash flow and stuff like that. Figure out your inventory and do all the right accounting. It's an important prerequisite for running your business. Oh yeah, it's an 8 out of 10. So, which is not good. It means it's if it's a 1 out of 10, then it's the best of your last 10 videos. But this one ranks as an 8. So the views on the channel overall are down. Probably because I just have not been releasing a lot of stuff. Yeah, that I mean, in hindsight, the that video took me an embarrassingly long amount of time to finish. That was, I think I started that August 9th. That super detailed graphic with all the like example businesses. I spent like, that took like 1 week to find that out. And for some of the, I wanted to have at least one like example for every single area on that graphic. And for some of them, it was difficult to come up with with an example. Need a CPU? Can you teach me how to make one? Oh, that's easy. First, you get a rock, then you smash the rock. Now you've got 98% concentrated silicon dioxide. Oh yeah, then you get it purified to 99.9999999% silicon dioxide. Then you put that together with carbon in an arc furnace. You can make metallic silicon, and so on. And there's a couple extra steps in there. So next steps. Yeah, content creation is always about, you gotta do all this work to make stuff, and you have to do all kinds of other work to advertise the stuff you made. So the video is out, the blog post is published with the graphic. Oh yeah, the other important thing. Oh yeah, before I forget. Finish. So I got my taxes done. I got the results back from the accountant. And my corporate income tax has been finished. But they did not file the HST return. So I gotta file that. Gonna file my HST return. That's a task I'll probably look at tomorrow. I think I have all the numbers, so it'll be pretty easy. So I gotta get revenue up again. Maybe I'll start doing. Back when I was doing community posts every single day, that actually seemed to really help increase the traffic on the channel. So maybe I'll go back to start doing that. But then again, it's also work. It takes so much time to do everything. There's no easy wins. Another thing I actually just before I came on. You can sell products on YouTube, and I looked into it. I think it's like you can sell digital products on Shopify. So maybe that's actually a potential revenue source to look into. I mentioned before about kind of like dividing up some of the features for the block money game, and if I could just have like a simple Shopify item, so you can buy a specific for adding a new block type or recipe to the game. I could just like pre-make an item, pre-make a Shopify product as that, and then you can advertise that on your channel. It just like shows up below things, below the videos. So yeah, I will look into that. I'll probably take a bunch of time. There'll be at least a few days of messing around trying to figure out how to connect everything. Need puppy and kitten reaction videos. Oh yeah, another someone commented that they demand an hours long, more detailed version of that video. So I do need to put out more content. It probably would be pretty I could make it reasonably informative if I edit it. I could just sit there and like basically react to my own video, or just like fill in way more commentary and backstory on it. Because I can just like freeze on. I think the existing video is fine as it is, because if I actually made it long, no one would watch it, and it would also take way more time to make a better detailed version of that. But it's also like I think it's a good video to scare people away from entrepreneurship if they are not cut out for it. Sounds like a very easy tutorial. Yeah, it's pretty easy. That's why I made a short video on making CPUs. Gibber Moreno. Hey, good evening. How's it going? Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I'll just do like a screen record of the last video and do some simple commentary, and then like, yeah, maybe we could just make it super inefficient, make it like an hour-long video when it doesn't need to be, and then fill it full of ads. I wouldn't be surprised if that got more views than the original. All's good. Happy to see you on the grind again. YouTube love Soccer Farm. That's why animations sort of died out with outsourcing other revenues like Patreon. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you know, I come to think of it, I have noticed way more like I keep seeing all these like really interesting podcasts that get recommended to me in my YouTube feed, and I'm like, wow, I really want to click on that and listen to it. And then I look at the timestamp and it's like 4 hours long. I'm like, this title looks incredibly interesting, but I'm not going to listen to this for 4 hours. This is insane. I mean, it's interesting though. There's the rate at which extremely interesting niche information is being published and things are being discussed is it's kind of incredible. Yeah, I think maybe I'll do that. Lazy commentary review of last video. And for setting up the Shopify selling, I guess that's something I probably should I should have figured out eventually. I think instead of trying to take sponsorships and stuff, I'll try to just figure out the more difficult but more sustainable problem, which is like figure out how to sell my own products. Because in a way, that's kind of my main goal. With that's why I'm doing YouTube anyway. It's basically like the marketing funnel for my business anyway. And if I can make a sustainable, there's probably a lot of what would be optimization I could do in figuring out like how to discretize individual features and sell them to make them more appealing, increase conversion rates. I noticed programming YouTubers do Zoom call with their members and give advice. People pay for advice and their time. Yeah, a few people have mentioned that. I guess I could. Yeah, maybe I could add that as like an item you can buy in the Shopify store. Yeah, looking into it, it seems like that is a reasonably successful model. As people start off with like they have their like simple products that are like $5 or $10, and then you can buy them successfully more useful ones, or like the more they kind of lead up to like meetings with the creator or with other people. Beep boop. Says Google AI account 1. I could also do some printing. I bought that expensive art printer that I have because I thought maybe I could sell some artwork. Just as a hypothesis to see if there see how much demand there was around that. In hindsight, I've actually found it. I found it way more useful in practice in just like printing my own graphics. It's like really nice. It's really handy to be able to print a random like high resolution, really nice like poster or something. I've used it for it's one of those things you don't really think you need, but then if you have it, you find lots of ways to use it. I almost thought I put so much time into that graphic for the last video. I wonder if anyone would buy a print for it. But the problem is everything is so expensive now like with shipping and stuff, even if I do like the cheapest possible untracked shipping, I'd probably have to charge like $100 to send someone a print. Like the physical print itself, to produce it only costs probably like less than $10 in like ink and materials. But then all the packaging and stuff and the time and labor, and I gotta print a CN22 form, as mentioned in the last video. Do you have a link to your LinkedIn? I think there should be a link. If you go to my like channel page where all the links and stuff are, I think there's a link to the LinkedIn page and all the other social medias. We got 19 concurrent viewers now. This is exciting. I should also clean my apartment. That's something I did not do for the last little while. Yeah, that's about it. I did no planning for this stream. Let's just come on and I guess after 143 days, or 100 well, yeah, I guess 142 days of focused, it's nice to just contemplate, think about how to make profit. Oh, everyone listening, if you liked my last video, make sure to hype it. I'm not sure how to do that, but apparently it's some new YouTube feature. You should sell $300 courses, like those rats do. Wait, which rats? Yeah, I'm gonna look into the like setting up Shopify and connecting it with YouTube. I was hoping to maybe just have like my own. I do have a store.robertelder.org, which is like built as part of my blog platform, but having a Shopify can integrate with YouTube. So that would let me like integrate the product advertisements right into the page. So that might actually, I would assume that would get like dramatically higher conversions than trying to get people off site onto like my own blog. I think the hype feature is only on YouTube mobile app. That's why a lot of people don't interact with it. Yeah, I Googled for it a bit. I don't know. I'm not sure much about it, but if you if any of you see it, make sure to hype my last video. Thank you for making your 9 months ago video. It got 1.1 million. I thought it was really authentic and relatable to me. I imagine lots of others. Yeah, there was that was a common sentiment, and I guess yeah, I don't know if maybe I timed it right, or maybe I maybe I started a trend. I guess there's lots of other people doing similar videos for that, but I've noticed a lot more videos recently about kind of a similar vibe of like, I tried this thing for many years and it didn't work. So it's nice to I think it's very instructive to other people so they don't waste a ton of time. There's too many people like, you know, going into careers that are not fruitful. I mean, software engineering, if I had have just gone into the 9 to 5, I would have done fantastic for the 2014 to probably 2023 area. But I also kind of wasn't prepared for how much that like tech seems to be like legitimately crashing right now. I see more and more reports of like experienced engineers that really shouldn't be getting laid off and then experiencing trouble. A lot of I checked the University of Waterloo subreddit, and I see a lot of people there talking about how the job market is pretty bad right now. If I'm not wrong, whole YouTube algorithm right now is weird. You should try more general niches of software, like those webcam tracking planes. I saw a bunch of those with good interaction. Yeah, webcam tracking planes. I guess that from the sounds of that, I'd have to actually build that kind of setup. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. I don't really have the time for to build. Oh yeah, another idea I had is I need to like increase revenue without doing much. Because there's always stuff I can always like make more videos and make more content. I need some like lazy. Everything I've done up until now is for the growth. Yeah, I was thinking about I'm creating all this content for the live streams. I'm not monetizing at all. I've done 143 days. There's bound to be a couple of good clips in there. But again, it's just it all takes time. Like, which is better? Should I edit out some recycled clips, or should I make new content with some lazy commentary? Or maybe I'm better off to work in the Shopify store. Should I work on doing more community posting? Because community posts also take time. E says, hello, Robert Elder Software. How is anyone doing? I'm pretty good. I finished my 2 goals. Terminal block mining simulation game 0.08 is released. In the next video, I finished and published that today. So now I'm backing up and thinking about next steps. Recycle clips. Do that when you're low on mental energy. I think would be a good starting point. Yeah. I mean, it would also be nice to. I mean, if I had the time, there's so much opportunity if I had the time to explore new things. Like one technique would be, I think that's something where AI would actually come in pretty handy. Like with 143 days of live streams, what I could do, you could just take you could have AI, because they're all, I think, already transcribed. You could take all the scripts, all the transcripts, throw them into like AI, and then, I think there's some AI software that generates Whitey shorts from long form. Yeah, there's probably, I guess maybe we could look into that. Which Linux distro you're running? I just use Ubuntu. Opus Clip. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. If I have time, I may forget about this list. I guess actually tomorrow I'll probably focus on this, because that's time sensitive, and I should still post a bit to milk whatever I can get from the last video. Do a community post. What happens to the favorite shorts? I would like to keep doing them, but it's economically unsustainable. They were good for growth, but it took me about 3 days to make one of those videos, and the revenue generated from the average video is probably like less than $3. So that's like a dollar a day. Baseline living expenses is about $50 a day. So then net cash flow is negative $147. When I started making them, actually, the YouTube Shorts monetization was really, it still is really bad. But at the time, I remember thinking, I did some tests and I found out that, like, I don't really think they were aggressively pushing ads on Shorts. So I thought maybe, like, if they get desperate, like over time, they probably train people better to get used to the ads. And my hypothesis, which turned out to be wrong, which was that I kind of thought maybe the monetization on Shorts, they might just like slowly ramp that up over time, and then it would become like extremely profitable, and then everyone who had a huge backlog of Shorts would make like a ton of money. But that did not happen. Actually, I think my Shorts views are down overall. Actually, I think if I recall correctly, look at my analytics, I think the overall, so I have like 100 and something, probably like 120 or 30 Shorts, and I think the average, the revenue per day from all of them over 100 is like less than $1 on any given day. Maybe like up to $2 on a good day. So your Shorts aren't getting much love. I think they're fantastic. Yeah, they're a very niche market. So, I mean, in a way, it's kind of surprising that some of them got as many as they did. There's one, I think the top one is like 250,000. or so. The one about the nice command. Should move to the Philippines, straight up live from shorts. Yeah, moving to another country is something people suggest a lot, but I have ties to this place. I'm trapped now. I could have left years ago, and now our economy's going to get worse. Actually, I found out, this was not announced, but I learned that if you have a company in Canada now, if you try to leave Canada, they introduce new capital gains. So if you like move to a new country, you are like deemed. I can't remember what the exact definition of like having moved was, but it's a deemed disposition of your corporation. So you have to like pay the government a whole bunch of tax. So they probably sense that everyone's going to try to start leaving. So they got to lock people in here and get that tax out of them. Yeah, I hope the world doesn't fall apart too much. Because if the world really goes sideways, then making shorts videos and getting enough views on my videos is going to be the least of my problems. Maybe we could do something like I don't know, set up some Shopify items to sell or like features to sell, and then like every milestone, like every, I don't know, $1,000 or something, of feature requests, then I'll start to work on the next phase of the block mining simulation game. How do I make a CPU? Oh, that's easy. First, you get a rock, then you smash the rock. Now you've got 98% concentrated silicon dioxide. Then you got to purify it to 99.999999% silicon dioxide. Then you can heat it up with carbon in an arc furnace. And there's a few more steps, but I got a video for that. I'm sure most countries, at least the common people, would be glad to have a hard worker like you. Yeah, I mean, in theory, but companies don't think on countries don't think on the individual level. They make broad sweeping policies that are not particularly sound as of late. YouTube is your current main source? Yes, yeah, YouTube is currently the main source of revenue. I love that. How to make a CPU video. Excellent. Yeah, that was my that's my top video. 15 million or something. I kind of hoped that my how to start a business video would be kind of in the same vein. I don't expect it to get as many views. the business one is a lot more boring with all the text and stuff. But that's just kind of the way it is. For some of the videos, the video does well because the topic itself is kind of boring. But if I want to cover the topic because I think it's important. Yeah, I guess someone recommended making I can't remember if they said specifically courses or I know some people, it's a common thing, people have like I don't know, like calls to like get advice or something like that. I'm kind of curious what people would like to see, if there's anyone who's interested in stuff like that. Like I've almost thought with all the people getting laid off right now and stuff, it would help. It would help to just like have if you could be like in a cohort, if you could be like in a Discord group or something with other people who are looking, who are like the same kind of motivation and skill level, and you could just like talk about strategies and about. I think a big part of the job search, or even like starting your business, is just like the motivation and not having someone to bounce ideas off of. Do you do a computer science degree in your youth? If so, would you recommend it? I did the software engineering at the University of Waterloo. I think the program at Waterloo, I think if you were going to do a program, the software engineering co-op program was awesome. And it's specifically the co-op aspect. So the fact that the university spends a massive amount of resources into facilitating people to get jobs, that was the number one most important thing. When you mention, when you ask if so, would you recommend it? At the moment, like people graduating with a computer science degree today are graduating into a really bad market. It's like the worst market for new CS grads in at least a decade or more. I would say I would feel better about someone going into a degree today than someone graduating today, because the job market just sucks. But it's possible that if you're going into a CS degree today, the market might be better by the time you get out. And then if you're, the best thing possible is to graduate into the start of a strong job market, because then as things grow, then your career is just going to be on top of a rocket. That was actually the job market I graduated into, but then I chose to stay in Canada and start a business, which was a mistake. As for whether I'd recommend it, I'd only recommend it if you're really interested in it. I think there were some people who did like boot camps and stuff CS boot camps because they thought that they would make a massive amount of money in a short amount of time. And I think that those people are in a really bad situation. And if they're not intrinsically interested in it, I think there's no chance, no chance that they're going to do well in the job market. Stratamesh says, hey, Robert. Yeah, I guess there's also a question about what to do, what to continue on with the live streaming content. Because if I'm not working on the block mining game, then I guess all my my only content is just going to be pontificating, updating my to-do list. I guess I can probably do that for, I don't know, a week or so. Someone with little to no computer software knowledge. Robert, is JavaScript a good thing to learn? Or what other languages would you recommend? I would say it depends on what you want to accomplish. You say you have little to no computer software knowledge. Are you learning it because you want to go in that career path, or is it just kind of like a side thing? JavaScript is primarily used for web applications, for the client side of web applications. It is also used in some server side stuff with Node.js. I'd say it is. It's probably one of the most used languages in terms of like if you get a when you graduate as a software developer, most software developers end up going into writing web software, because I guess a lot of the most new software that people write, it's most convenient for it to be a web application. So it ends up getting written as like client-side web app stuff. The alternative where that would not be true is something like embedded systems. So if you have, and actually there's a lot of stuff like that, like in a camera, in a video camera, there's operating system software in that, in like small embedded device, like a thermostat that runs your house and stuff. That's all embedded stuff. And it's usually like the C programming language, C or C++. I would say they're most experienced software developers can probably write in at least a few languages. They probably know like a bit of C, a bit of Python, maybe some JavaScript and stuff. I would say there's probably very few programmers that get to a level of like extreme mastery of one language and then also don't know the other ones at all. I'm not trying to learn programming right now. I know there's a lot of talk in CS spheres as to which language they prefer. In my opinion, I say that each language is a tool, and picking the right language is equivalent to picking the right tool. So there's like certain tools in the workplace. Maybe you could use a flathead screwdriver to pry something. You could also use a pry bar. You could use if you don't have exactly the right tool, you could use something else and get something that works. But something like C, for example, C makes sense if you're writing something that's actually interacting with the bare metal. So in C, there's all kinds of keywords like volatile and stuff, things that talk to like memory mapped registers. When you're interacting directly with hardware in a way that like a memory managed language like JavaScript, it would have a lot of difficulty in it's really not, it's not designed to understand definitions of hardware, which is C is very much able to do that, which makes sense because C is one of the oldest ones where you're like writing all the individual operations to interact directly with the hardware. JavaScript makes sense. Most of the features of JavaScript and like the function calls and stuff are designed to run within the context of a web browser. Like there's like in JavaScript you'd write like document.get element by ID. But in C, in the C programming language, that there's no equivalent concept to that. Now in C you could like the concept of the document object in JavaScript, that's always there. But in another language like C, you would need some interface to bring in that symbol document, and then you need a whole bunch of other code that actually like allows you to do something, allows you to operate on that document object. Another new language is Rust, which its claim to fame is guarantees about memory safety. So there's a bunch of features built into the language to prevent a number of problems that C has with like access violations. So in C you can do really stupid stuff, like you can just allocate an array and you can immediately read past the end of the array, which like when you're just interacting directly with hardware, that could make sense, but in most applications that's a bug and it ends up being a huge security issue. So Rust claims to solve that, and there's a whole bunch of different syntax sugar and stuff, and I've never used Rust personally. Languages like Java, in my opinion, is a pretty good alternative to something like Rust. There's C. C makes sense when you want to do very low-level stuff that's close to hardware. Java makes sense when you want to write things that are like desktop applications that are not necessarily running within the context of the browser. So it's not doing like JavaScript, the stuff that JavaScript would do. It's actually running on your desktop. But you do not want to write every single low-level detail of the memory management in C, because in C, when you allocate memory, you have to figure out, you have to program in explicitly the entire life cycle of when the memory is allocated and when it's freed. And in Java, that's done for you, which is an advantage if you don't care how the memory is allocated and freed. Most of the time you can not think about that. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff in Java that just I think it's a very enterprise friendly language. It's all kinds of like the standard Java libraries have a lot of like hash functions and stuff built into them. Whereas in other languages, you'd have to write that stuff from scratch, or you'd have to bring in a third-party library. Python is good. I would say if you're prototyping an application, it's going to be less than 1,000 lines. Python is good. It's also used for prototyping numerical applications a lot, or even like running production stuff. There's a lot of AI and mathematical stuff that uses Python. But yeah, that's a pretty decent overview. Yeah, I'll probably leave it there for tonight. Once again, there's going to be no plans for the next stream, but I will resist the urge to continue working on the block mining game. I'm going to turn my attention for the next little while to focusing on things can boost views and bring in more revenue. So I'll probably take off and then maybe look into some of these things. Now I think I'll look into that. Well, I guess I should knock this out of the way before I forget about it. Yeah, I'll leave it there for tonight. And we'll be back tomorrow for day 144. For the overview. Have a good rest for your work. Have a good night. All right, talk to you later.